Hello, everyone, and you're welcome to another edition of the Other Side of the Bridge football channel. Today we're talking about Chelsea versus Copenhagen, and Chelsea won that one by 1-0. The match was played in Stamford Bridge. It's about 9 p.m. Uh, honestly, while we are happy as fans that we won, I think a lot of fans seriously need to be worried. I mean, it's high time we, put the searchlight on Enzo Maresca and some of his decisions. Yeah, I hear people say, oh, it's just the Conference League. But hey, is the same thing happening even in the league, in our league matches? We've not been playing too well. Yesterday was I don't want to use the word atrocious, but I wish I could look for a lighter word, so it doesn't look like, hey, we're attacking our own team. But seriously, the performance, especially in the first half, was nothing to write home about. I mean, Chelsea literally had no shots on goal, whether on target or off target, zero. I mean, it was that bad. The choice, some of the tactics the coach utilized, was kind of suspect. I mean, playing Pedro Neto as a striker, really, really suspect. Especially to know that Luke Nkunku was, healthy, able to play. And I really don't know what was up because the team really, really, really didn't sync at all yesterday. The midfield was bad. We had Enzo Fernandez partnering with Caicedo in the midfield. We went with our usual, back line. Personally, I think we played back three actually because Chalobah playing alongside Tosi Adarabioyo and Badiashile, while we had a young Achimpong on the left side of the defense, kind of playing a left wing back role, and of course, inverting into midfield, which I think he did averagely. He didn't really do too bad, but yeah, it's clearly shows he's not a left winger. And of course, we had, to me personally, I think the man of the match. Drewsbrury Hall, whom I kind of, went after, especially in the last match and a couple of his last outings. But you could see very well he kind of did perform better, way better than he usually does. Yeah, and we had on the right flank, we had Tyreek George, and on the left flank, we had Jadon Sancho, which honestly, I think we really need to speak about Jadon Sancho because Sancho's performance once again, especially against a weaker opponent, I think he should be performing much, much, much better. Sancho hasn't really lived up to the expectation. I think he only does well in Germany and in Dortmund, but Manchester United had the same complaints over him concerning his training. I also think he looks a little bit bigger, maybe just my eyes, but Sancho really needs to trim down. But Sancho is known for, mesmerizing skills, being able to beat, his defender and pulling across, or maybe even cut to his right foot and slot the ball into the net. But he literally does none of those things. He's not able to beat anyone. Even the speed he's usually known for, we really don't see it in the Chelsea shirt. Maybe apart from the first few matches he had at Chelsea, which he did quite well coming in. But look, Sancho really needs to step up his game. He really needs to be more direct. I made a video the last time speaking about how much we are missing Modric, and it's very, very evident, with Sancho's performance that we need a winger that is very, very direct. We can say that about Pedro Neto, when he's on, especially Madueke also, two very direct wingers who are able to go at their attacker or go at their defender or beat their man, either to shoot or to cross. And Sancho really needs to take a cue from these two players. Neto really didn't do nothing in that striking position, and come on, we can't blame him. He's literally not a striker. I mean, towards the end of the half, he had this great opportunity. I think he overran the ball when he was supposed to shoot. It took too much time, and the defender caught up with him. We really can't say much about the first half. Enzo Fernandez, who I expected much, much better from. A lot of loose passes, man, it was atrocious. But I think generally the goalkeeper really had nothing to do. There were a couple of threats from Copenhagen, but nothing to really disturb the goalkeeper. The defense, were very much okay. They did what they were expected or what was expected from them. And that brings us to the second half where the coach made some changes, brought in Cole Palmer and as well as Cucurella. Cucurella replaced the young Achimpong while Cole Palmer came in for Enzo Fernandez, and you could see the lift in our confidence. We were playing much better. Also, Nkunku also came in at some points in the game, and look, Nkunku did nothing of note. The little half chances he had, he fluffed his lines, but I really can't blame him because there's really no synergy between him and Palmer. And speaking of Palmer, Palmer still seems to be forcing things. I mean, when we're not expecting him to shoot, he takes a shot. When we're expecting him to pass, he holds on to the ball. We have an opportunity, maybe a fast break, Palmer slows down the game, turns, left, right, and turns back and, passes backwards. And I really don't know whether it's a confidence thing, but Palmer just hasn't been the Cole Palmer that we've known. When he takes a shot, it's direct at the keeper. I mean, there was a fast break where he had Nkunku to his left and a young 17-year-old teenager, I think, on the right side. And Palmer went for goal, and he shot straight at the goalkeeper, and that chance went. Look, he's still forcing a lot of things, and he really needs to get out of his head. Instead of concentrating on scoring goals, look, Palmer is not a striker, so we really don't. We're really not going to hold it against him if he doesn't score. But he needs to stick to that part of his game, which is being able to, the delicate pass, the very good control, which he still has. Don't get me wrong, but this not scoring thing seems to be clouding his judgment, and he's making a lot of wrong moves. Like I said, the second half was much better. We were able to pass the ball a lot better, a lot quicker, most especially because, I don't know, with this tactics, we seem to be, just passing for the sake of passing. But this time around, the passes seem to be more precise, and we seem to be getting closer and closer to the Copenhagen goal. And the changes, the substitutions, kind of changed the game, but still not good enough because we had to depend on Drewsbrury Halls, who I don't know whether he came up with his prime Mercy kind of thing, put on Messi's boots and beat about 4 players, kind of lucky with a little deflection, before the ball ricocheted, into his path, and still quite a very tardy finish from Drewsbrury Halls, who has come under a lot of fire for Chelsea recently. But he proved his mettle today, and I think he bailed us out, of a very sticky situation, because if Copenhagen has scored with the momentum they had, especially in the first half, I'm very sure they were going to win the game. And we could hear very loud jeers, from the Stamford Bridge. Faithful, especially during the halftime when the whistle sounded for halftime. I mean, the fans were really not happy. But hey, we came in the second half, and we performed much better. Reece James came in playing in midfield once again, which I don't think is his best position. But hey, maybe the coach is, saving him from lots of, because he does a lot of running when he's playing as a 2, especially in the right back role. He has to run back and forth. But playing in midfield, his running seems to be a little bit, coordinated or limited, and that may help him, especially in the injury front. So Chelsea 1, Copenhagen 0, and so Chelsea qualify for the quarterfinal of the UEFA Confrence League. Now, speaking of Europe, a very controversial match between between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. We've all heard about the disallowed penalty, by the VAR, disallowed Alvarez's goal for, touching the ball twice. But replays has shown that even if it happened, it was literally something that you cannot see with the naked eye. We had to be slowed down into micro milliseconds, as well as, being able to zoom in with very, very high sophisticated cameras, for you to see a very, very minute touch. I don't think that is enough to cancel that, goal. I really don't know what the VAR saw, especially watching that goal. But hey, if it's something that even through replays, people watching from the screen still could not see, then what kind of replay did the VAR see to make them believe, especially at the heat of that game, that, that goal deserved to be chalked out? And that brings us to questions about some of the Real Madrid politics, especially with UEFA. And you say what you like. Everybody expected Madrid to come away with that one, especially the penalty given. Yeah, it was a penalty, which the Brazilian winger skied over the net. But hey, I really feel Atletico Madrid should be heartfelt, feel very bad, especially after playing Madrid, especially playing Madrid as well as they did, holding Madrid for 120 minutes, leading to penalties. Hey, but everybody has their opinion, but looking at various opinions, you can clearly see that many people don't think that penalty deserved, to be chalked out. And Madrid went through, and they'll be playing Arsenal. And speaking of Arsenal, that will be Chelsea's match on Sunday. Super Sunday, we'll be playing Arsenal, and Chelsea are fourth on the table, while Arsenal are second on the table. And this is one match we need to win, but I really don't see it coming, to be honest. Especially the last matches we've had, Cucurella had to bail us out against Leicester City, and now Drewsbrury Hall. The attack really isn't ticking, and to say that we're missing Nicholas Jackson is an understatement. Look, whatever we need to do to get that guy back on the field, we really need to do ASAP, because Jackson not being on the field, takes away a lot of our attacking potential. This guy has been much maligned, but I think it's we can clearly see that he's much needed in this team. Nkunku hasn't really filled anyone with confidence. Magui is currently injured, and even when he's played, still a kid, so we can't really, the jury can't be out on him so soon. So hopefully Chelsea wins that match, and I'll see you after that match. Do have a wonderful time.